Over the last several months, I have made a decision that has changed how I run my entire business and my life. And that is I've decided to acronomize. I looked it up. Apparently, it's technically a word. But basically, I have turned every single thing in my life into an acronym using the help of ChatGPT and AI. I am someone who loves to look for frameworks or easy ways to remember things. And so I thought to myself, why not just make an acronym for everything? Every single Notion board that I have, every single thing that I do, every program that I run has an acronym. In fact, the book that I'm going to be writing is going to be in an acronym format. I don't know. I just love it. I'm obsessed with it. And I've always functioned this way. And every time I share it with people, they're like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. So today I'm going to be walking you through one of my many different things that I have started to acronymize. Again, I don't know how to say that right, but that is setting goals. I created an acronym for goal setting that I think you guys are going to love, and it encompasses both future and past goals, and it's really going to help you guys make some plans for 2025. It's also good to reflect, which is the other acronym, on the past. So I'm going to be showing you that as well. All of this is available inside of my life tracker template, which you can get on either the Notion storefront. It's also on my website. So it's called the Daily Life Tracker Flow template. So if you want to learn more and get that below, otherwise you can also check out Notion Foundations, which is my course that also has the template inside as well. And you can learn Notion. So let's get into Notion. I'm going to teach you guys my new framework for goal setting, as well as how to reflect on the past. So I'm super excited. This is going to be a new series for you guys. I'm going to be talking about a ton of different acronyms over the next year as I continue to polish and make them make sense. Because I have found, like, even after a couple weeks, I'm like, I need to tweak that. So now I'm like really like solid with some of them, and I'm really excited to share them with you guys. So let's talk about goal setting in 2025 and my new framework and template. All right, so this is my new acronym, my new framework for Notion goal setting. So it's goals, objectives, achievements, lifelong dreams, and strategies. Now, when I was trying to use goal setting, I was using a lot of other people's methods, and nothing worked for me. As you guys know, I like to Frankenstein my own systems. So I decided to come up with a system that included both current goals, future goals, and achievements of the past. And I put them all into one framework called goals. So each letter of goals stands for something, and I'm going to walk you through each of them. So let's start with goals, which is the ACE framework. So let's open this up. So this is basically goals for the next year. These are things you want to do within the next 365 days, like within the next, so 2025 goals. What I've realized is there's a lot of goals I have that I know I'm not going to do in the next year, but I want to do at some point in my life. I've moved those to lifelong goals. They're completely different. There's something I can always move into this, but I want to have them separate because those are things that I'm like, I maybe want to do that like 10 years down the road, but I don't want to do it this year. This is stuff I'm doing within the next year. And so I decided to split it into 3 different types of goals because I was also like, some of the goals I want to do like every single day. Some of them I want to do over a period of time. And sometimes they're like a one-time goal. So I split those into 3 types of goals. I call them, and I'll spread this out so you can kind of read them, advancement goals, growth, which are growth goals. So that's like growing something. Continuous progress, so that's recurring things. And then empowering milestones, which are one-time goals. So I'll kind of give you guys some examples of these. So for example, within those, I have amplify social connections, which is social growth. I have cultivate financial stability, which is money growth. And then I have health transformation with it, which is health growth. So as you can see here, amplify social connections or social growth. This is growing my social media. So growing subscribers, growing to 10,000 on Twitter, whatever it is. I already hit 10,000, so I can maybe move that up to 15,000 if I want to hit 15,000 next year. You can have a goal for social growth. This is great, especially for those who are content creators, or maybe you have a business. Figuring out a growth goal for the next year, and then you can track it over here. You have your current, where you're at and where your target's at. So that's the first one. Cultivate financial stability. This is money growth. You could add things like, I want to get 4 new clients every month, get 5 new speaking opportunities. You have set goals for what you want to achieve, whether it's every month, whatever it is, but those are the goals that you want to get. So those are financial goals. Then you've got health goals. So maybe it's lose 10 pounds. within the next 6 months or within the next year, lose 20 pounds, whatever it is. You have a health goal. Maybe it's drink water, be more healthy. That would actually move into the recurring practices, but this is like a specific goal where you have an actual target that you need to get. So that is advancement goals or growth goals. The next one, C, which I am going to remove this because that's annoying me. Continuous goals, which is recurring practices. The first one is enhance creative skills. So this is something where you're like consistently posting every day. Like I'm going to post every single day for a month. So that's again, recurring practices, things that you're doing every day. Improve well-being. This is practice yoga daily. This is all the things that you're doing every day. I'm just giving you guys some examples. I'm leaving this one blank because it's like, these are the things maybe it's drink water every day, a certain amount of water. This is the recurring practices that you're doing every single day that are a goal. This is kind of what you call the progress goals, where it's like things that are happening all the time to get to your larger goals. And then the last one is empowering milestones. So this is something that it's like something you will achieve once and then you're done and you move on. So for example, run a marathon. Maybe you're training to run a marathon. You want to run it once and then you're done. That is something that you could be training for. Maybe you want to write a book or develop a new product. You're going to do that thing, accomplish it, and then you're done. This is something where there's a start and an end to it. So that's pretty easy to kind of understand. So like get a marketing certificate or graduate college or, do whatever it is. And these are all kind of things I've done is like wellness, growth, and personal development. So all three kind of have those same things. So in the end, there's about 9 different things. And what I recommend doing is I have at least one goal for each. So that's 9 goals for the entire year. You could also have 3 goals in each. So that's 9 times 3, which is 18. 27. That's a lot. So then you have 9 times 7. If you want to do 3 in each, that's 27 goals if you do 9 times 3. So 27 goals is a lot for a year. So I always say just make sure you focus on one for each of these. But this is something that you could definitely do for the next year. Again, it's up to you how many goals you want. But I was doing this thing where I was having so many goals and I was like, I'm trying to achieve too much. Really figure out what you want to achieve in the next year and really, really focus that. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it would be helpful. Okay. So that's the first step of the goals framework, is figuring out your goals for the next year in these 3 different categories. All right. And then those link over to everything from your to-do list to all that stuff within the template. The next one. Okay, so once you're done with your goals, now it's time to move into your objections and intentions. And this acronym is called VIBE. So let's move into that one. So we're going to open this one up. As you can see, there's 4 different things that you can do here. So we've got vision, intention, balance, and execute. So let's open up vision. So this is really your vision statement for the year. This is where you're going to write a few sentences describing your ideal year, what success looks like. I always like to do vision boarding or word of the year, that sort of thing. And then here is where you can actually do a mood board or vision board. I actually have a whole YouTube video about how to create a vision board, but I recommend creating one in Canva and just kind of creating an image so you can pop that in there. And then also, what are your big overarching goals for the year? So kind of going back to the previous one with the ACE, like what are the 3 main things that you want to achieve this year? All right, so that's vision. The next one is intention. This is really more about like the word of the year. What is the one thing? What are you intending to do this year? And it's more about the vibe. So it's more about like what are the general vibes of the year, and also like what are some affirmations that you can share. I'm a big fan of affirmations. So if there's any links or you can embed a Spotify playlist, whatever you want. That's where you can put your affirmations, and then also figure out how these align with your visions, how it aligns with your values, that sort of thing. Just sort of think about, okay, is my focus for the year, does that align with my goals? Does it align with my to-do list? Does it align with my content? Does it all align? All right, and then the next one is balance. So this one is create a table or chart to balance goals. So figure out like, okay, how much do I want to focus on my career, relationships, health? You can do this also in Canva, highly recommend. And then maybe a mantra, or again, going back to like, what is like your statement of the year? What are you saying over and over again? And then also tracking your daily habits. So I linked over to the daily life and habits tracker there. And then the last category is execute. So this is actually creating an action plan. And this is where you're actually going to use your to-do list. And actually, so I embedded that as well. So you can execute execute? Is there a timeline or milestone dates that you want to achieve things? Weekly and monthly check-ins. Are you checking in on yourself? So that is for vibe. That is the objectives and intentions area of goals. All right, this one is one of my favorites. I'm super excited about this. This is your accomplishment. So I read this book last year called Be Seen, and basically in the book she talked about something called a badass list, where you list off all of the accomplishments you've ever done and you can go look at it. But I never really knew where to put that in my Notion template. And then when I thought of this goals framework and kind of figured that out, I was like, oh my gosh, so it's not just your goals, but it's also the things that you've achieved, whether it's in the last year or over your lifetime. So I created this. So let's look at this one. So the first one is list. This is the list of accomplishments, and I recommend you writing down everything, the date that it happened, all the things that you've accomplished in your life. I want this to be long. I want this to be things that you can remember. So when you're having a bad day, you can go look at this. This is your list of accomplishments. The next one is observe and reflect. So this is kind of a larger one that I kind of wanted to walk through. So one of the things I like to do every year is I like to reflect on the year. I'm actually going to make this so that you can see it with if you look at your reflections over the year, what are things that you loved this year? And this is a great thing to do, especially in December. So let's go through each one. So one of the things I like to do is I like to write down all the rabbit holes I went down. What are the things that I really focused on this year? What are the things that I learned? And what did I really spend my time learning this year? The next one is entertainment. So this is kind of you recapping your year. What are your favorite movies, your favorite TV shows, your favorite YouTube channels, your favorite social media accounts? Just kind of thinking back, like, what did I really consume this year from an entertainment perspective? It's always nice to have on hand too if somebody asks you, like, what did you like this year? The next one is just other favorites. So your favorite books that you read, favorite songs you listen to, you can look at Spotify Wrapped, or your Goodreads for your books, your favorite purchases. You can look at your Amazon history. Just be like, what's the things that I really enjoyed this year that I feel like was worth it for me? Life hacks. These are like things that you learn that you like, oh my gosh, I am so glad I learned that this year. I want to write it down so that I can have it in the future. Experiences and memories. So these are things you did, whether it was trips or things you did with friends. Just write down a list. You can also add things like dates, locations, whatever you want to that. You've also got content. So your favorite podcasts you listen to, favorite apps that you used. And then the last one is thoughts. So your favorite quotes, and then any additional thoughts that you have about the year. I think it's really good to spend some time at the end of the year and really just, even if you have a few in each, this is a great time to reflect and figure out whether there's general patterns. And this can also help you move forward as well. So that is the second O of the look framework. I'm going kind of fast because I want to get through all of these. The next one is overcome. This is something I was like, well, what about the things that you didn't do well? For example, I didn't read as much this year. I had a goal of reading 35 books. I read about 20. So I was about 15 books short of my list. I ended up doing a lot more other things this year than reading. So for me, I could say next year I want to overcome and read more again. I want to get back on the board with reading. So what are the things that you resisted? Maybe you're struggling to lose weight. What do you maybe you're snacking too much. Whatever it is, what are the resistance that is happening in your life and what's going on? This can help you again with your goals for next year, is to see what do you need to overcome in the past year. And then the last category is just anything to keep. So you can just put more here if you'd like, just any other random things that you can save for the next year. So that is accomplishments look. Let's move back. So then we've got two more categories. This one is your true vision board. This is your lifelong vision board, and the acronym is MAP. So that stands for, if you look here, milestones, action plan, and projected date. So for milestone, this is like the thing you want to do, the name of it. So if you swim with dolphins, maybe your action plan is I want to save enough money to be able to go and fly to the Bahamas and go swim with dolphins. And your projected date, maybe it's 3 years from now, but that's kind of, again, like a vision board. Vision boards, you don't have to actually plan. You just need to have the idea. That's kind of how they work, is you just know that that's something you want to do in your life. But if you also have just like an action plan or a description of what it is, and kind of generally like, hey, I'd like to do this like within the next 10 years. That would be kind of a vision board feature for that. You can also add pictures, which is very fun. The last category is strategy. So this is where if you find anything about goal setting, or like, for example, I'm a big fan of the 12-week year. You can put anything about that. You can put notes here. Any strategies that you found that are helpful with creating goals. So that is my goals framework, which this is now available inside of the goals section in my life tracker template. This is something I've spent a lot of time thinking about and figuring out the acronyms and figuring out all of the things that I think are important and how to kind of separate them, but then I'll have them in one place, if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm going to be going through a whole series of all the updates I've been doing to my life tracker templates. So if you want to check it out, you can go to my website and grab this template, and you can start planning your goals for 2025. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.